Sean
this
Connery
one.
of it. You look like Sean
Like
Connery.
who? Hey, I'll take that one. I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll send you a signed picture. So, I gotta send you that razor. I gotta send you that razor. I got a
Here's
good barber for you as well, you know.
here's the big
So
news I'm reading.
nice. Yeah.
Swiss drug maker Roche will buy irritable bowel treatment firm Televan for 7.1 billion. Who knew so many people had irritable bowel treatments?
Oh, people, there's a lot of ass problems all around the world, man.
$7.1 billion worth of irritable bowel treatments.
How much would you pay to fix your bum?
I mean, I don't think I have irritable. I got issues, but I don't think I got irritable. What the hell is irritable bowel? Like it hurts when you shit? What is that?
Yeah, IBS.
I don't even think I want to know. So let's move on.
Yeah, yeah, we don't need to get into IBS, man. I tell you, I lived in Houston for 3 months with a CTO that was working for me, and we shared an apartment. Man, he had IBS. He loved the croissants and the cakes for breakfast, but he had IBS. I tell you
What
what,
does
man.
that mean? You can't shit?
Oh no, it's like a machine gun,
Oh, I see. All right,
and it, and
I,
it's
I
and
don't
it's
want to know,
loud.
but I'll ask and suddenly I'll find out.
If someone has IBS, you don't want to room with them.
Oh, great.
No.
Ugh.
Well, moving from one shit story to the next.
One shit show to the next.
Yeah. So
Uh,
one of the lads was telling me that tweet or what is it, spin twit? Yeah, is all the light with the end of the world happening here, man.
it's so funny because
Yeah.
I was on it a lot this weekend. I feel like exactly what he said. Everybody is talking about how everybody is talking about it, right? So it's like everybody's calling for a crash, except everybody is saying that it's a buy because everybody is calling for a crash.
No one's short this shit, man. They're all just
That's my
watching it
point.
fall.
And that's why you got to get past all that, what people say shit, and look at data and say, are people fucking short? And I'll tell you what, I did a whole thing on it in my
There's a lot of videos out of you over on YouTube there. I was like, too much. I was like, wow, this is churning it out here, man.
one time a week, right?
Oh, was it? I thought I saw like 3 videos from you posted there, and I didn't have the time to watch any of them actually, unfortunately. I got one of
Uh,
your shorts.
your time is clearly being used incorrectly. So, I mean, this is how I have it. Just on the commitments of traders data for the futures. Okay, so
Yeah, what?
this doesn't take into account where people are short individual stocks or whatever, but just on the futures. So, like the Dow, you know, we've been looking at
According
it.
to the Wall Street Journal, Chinese Foreign Minister
Sorry,
Wang Yi
hold
is to
on.
visit Washington this week.
I'll just turn that guy off.
So you know they're massively short Dow relative to history, right? So that makes you
Okay.
say, oh, well, people are short. But I'm looking at the data. You got to remember the Dow is the smallest contract by far, right? So
Mm,
they're essentially short a net, let's call it $7 billion of Dow futures, right?
okay. Is that all?
But just last week, the short covering in the other futures, Nasdaq, S&P, Russell, was 10.5 billion. So they bought more Russell,
Oh
Nasdaq,
yeah, the Russell.
and and S&P. They bought more of that just last week than they are net short Dow. So the Dow is basically essentially means nothing. On the other hand, they are a little bit net short stock futures, a little bit, right?
Right.
Across all of them, they're short if you include all of them, about $20 billion of short. But the total value of the S&P 500, 35 trillion. So
Wow.
in other words, it's all wonderful. You know what I mean? They say, oh, they're short, let's get long. But the truth is, that ain't gonna fucking stop anything. You know,
Get long. I'm not going against this shit, man. This is going to force
no, and the least,
1,000.
this is the least short S&Ps in like a year. right? The least short they're short in Nasdaq in like 7-8 months. So
Really? Wow.
yes.
So
they're still-
so that's
they are a
funny
little
'cause-
short, but this is the least short that they've been in quite a while.
So that's funny because this pullback is really just low liquidity on the bids. It's not active, aggressive like
No, these guys
initiative
are they're
short side.
buying into the dip. That's what they're doing. They're buying into the dip. So,
Yeah.
you know, and that's kind of what I was looking for the last few months. My thought process was, look, all these guys are looking to buy this 42 and then get the year-end rally. So it's either going to just run away from them, right?
They're gonna get handed a sick bag.
Or they're gonna get filled, right? And if they get filled, they're gonna wish that they didn't. And it looks like what's happening is they're getting filled.
You're
So
telling me that their positioning is that they're looking to be net long 42s and then pile into puts.
be net long around the 42 area and then watch the year-end rally come. My best friend, Dan Nathan, who, as you know, I love.
Danny boy.
So he has been, he was short the whole first half of the year. QQQs, NVIDIA, Tesla, everything. He was forced out of that sort of July, August. He tried to start taking some Q shorts again, which expired. It was so funny. He took Q shorts about 5 or 6 weeks ago. He bought puts. It's so good because he has to disclose the stuff.
What expiry?
So it expired on Friday. He bought 354s or 355s, which is right where it expired. So he lost his entire premium. And then it expired. So the guy is now left with
350 355 puts.
No, the QQQ 355.
Oh, sorry, the
puts.
Qs.
Right.
Oh,
So lost his entire, thing. But so what he's left with now that those expired, right? All he's left with after being short this shit massively the entire first half of the year, all he's left with is TLT calls. Okay, which is right, basically a bullish call. We could argue. Dollar puts, right, which is pretty much a bullish call, right? And calls on XLU, which at the end of the day is a long. So this fucking guy's been short and he's still bearish. Okay, that's my point, right? He's still on there every day saying how bearish he is, right? Although he came out last week
on XLU.
Wow, he came out last week and he was like, it's not like I think the market's gonna crash.
What the fuck? He's net long XLU utility sector. He's balls deep short Nasdaq. What do you mean he's not net short?
Well, he's not. He doesn't
bearish.
He's not short Nasdaq anymore. That's my point. He's long the TLTs. He's short the dollar. These are arguably bullish stock trades, and he's long XLU. So he's long. He's saying he's bearish. He was short the whole first half of the year, everything he gets short of, and now he's short nothing. And I would argue he's long. So that's my point. People are calling, oh, there's going to be a crash, but I don't think anybody's freaking short no more, man.
But it's not that they're actively selling. It's just that they're not stepping in as we move down.
Yeah, because they got scared because they got burned so many. They got burned so many times the first half of the year doing it that they're sick of it, right? So they just stopped doing it. So
man, if Israel go into Gaza, price in 4,000 on the spoos, man, easy. We're gonna head off. I had a Israeli company in my portfolio. I had to cut it, man. It's dropped like a stone since, thankfully.
I got to tell you something, Dugan. Don't let this get to your head, okay?
Okay.
Every time I talk to somebody, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's fucking George Soros, okay? Then what automatically goes through my head is this fucking guy is going to be wrong. And okay. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you something because there were a few videos of what me and you did that popped up. I was sitting on Twitter for most of the weekend this weekend, And
Yeah.
a few videos that we did popped up, and so I listened to them. And you've had a lot of fucking good calls on those videos, bro. I gotta give it to you.
Thank you. Thanks. I don't know what the calls were.
I mean,
Southwestern.
just like what you just said, where you're like, "Oh, this fucking thing's gonna go to 4,000," that type of thing. You've had a
Oh
few
yeah, yeah.
that were just spot fucking on, man. I
Thanks.
I,
Well,
I always doubt
my
anybody's
invoice.
ability. No, I always doubt anybody's ability to do that. I don't think I can do that. I always doubt anybody's ability. Like I can sometimes I'm okay. I say, oh, it's a short. I don't pick levels. I don't know crap like that. I'm short. I'm short. I'm short. And wherever it goes, it goes. But you did a pretty good job on a whole bunch of these videos, man. Calling these levels, calling these ideas. You did a good thing with oil. I mean, you came out with
Thanks,
oil
man.
when it was ripping, and you were super long oil. You're like, I think it's just about done here, and there's going to be a freaking pretty nasty move down against it, and then you look to rebuy it. Well, that was like literally
Yeah,
2 days before this thing went from fucking 95 down to like 82.
that's right. Yeah.
That
Well,
was
you're
pretty.
looking at Brent, but yeah, we were looking at 92s on WTI. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a pretty good call for a freaking Irishman.
Duggan Capital, sign up to the Discord.
That's what I'm saying, dude. This
Give you a
fucking
discount
guy,
if you're coming from Jason's room.
no, especially if you're looking to do a little short-term trading, which I don't add very much value in it at all. That's not my thing at all.
Yeah, no, that's kind of how I was trained, and like worked in a couple of top tier prop firms, and they trained us really well to kind of read moves, and I was mentored by a couple of really good old salty sea dogs over the years, and yeah, I've been blessed with that, to be mentored by some great people, and
So
just
enough
sitting
digging
here
ass kissing. I just thought I'd give you the fair
sitting here learning every day. That's all
I
that comes from.
thought I'd give you the fair look because like I say, I listened to about 3 of those videos that were popping up on Twitter, and I never really listened to our videos before. And yeah, that was pretty good shit,
Thanks,
man.
man.
Doing all right. Doing all right
Waiting
for
for
a
the
dumpener.
long Still waiting for the long bonds war thing to come in, but I think it's over, man. I think the Israelis are going to be told, listen, take it easy. Otherwise you're going to cause World War III, and no one can afford that. I think that's what's
No
happening.
one could afford that. That's fucking fact.
Yeah.
That is fact.
But I find it funny that that we're down here, quite a bit on equities actually now that I look at it, and the world is everyone's saying this could be the big one, and we had that talk as well. This could be the big one.
But I just don't. I could be wrong here. Clearly, I would think that shorts the trade anyway, but it's never the big one anymore. Like everyone's always looking for the big one, so it's never the big one. But like you look at shit like TLT, that was the big one, okay, and it never happened in a day. The thing's fucking down 50% in 2 years. That's the big one, dude. That's got to be the biggest destruction of wealth in the history of mankind. Everybody's in bonds, be it individuals, be it institutions, pension funds, governments. You know what I mean? They all got big allocations to bonds, dude. Right? I'm saying like everybody could be long wheat, you know what I mean? And wheat could go down and whatever. That ain't gonna have a big effect on anything else, right? But everybody long bonds, dude. I mean, that's the center of the universe, bonds, right? So US bonds. That's the center of the entire fucking Ponzi scheme. So like this thing is getting destroyed, dude. And it never had the big one. There's never been the big one in this thing. It's just slowly gone down, got people back in. I mean, I'm just looking in general from March 21 all the way to December 21. It was up, and then it went all the way down, and all the way to October. So that's 6 months. Then from October all the way until, April, it went up. And now it's gone straight down and it's taken out lows. That's not the big one. That's not a crash, right? But 2 years later, you've lost a shitload of freaking money, man. This 60-40 portfolio, they have this ETF.
Yeah. The 60-40.
That thing's down 35% from highs in 2 years. That's pretty much everybody's retirement account, dude. Down 35% in 2 years. And that doesn't even include purchasing power from the inflation that's happened over the last 2 years. You're down 45, 50% on a purchasing power in your retirement account over the last 2 years. That's fucking
40%.
yeah, and
No.
I don't even think anybody knows it. I was lucky enough once in my life to actually have a job long enough to have a 401k with that company, right? And I never looked at the statements or anything. I just figured, hey, the money's going in there, and when I leave or when I retire or when they fire me, whatever it is, there'll be some money there that earned some return. And then when I left, okay, there was the statement. I looked at it. I said, okay, give me my freaking money. I feel like that's what most people do. I don't think people are looking at their 401k statements every week or month. Or I never looked at it. I didn't even know what the hell it was.
I'll
And
tell you something. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
so I'm just saying, man, those fucking people are in for a shock, dude.
Do they not already see the statements, man? Like, you know, I'm looking at TLT on the pre-market here. It's trading 82.66. Is it closed at 83.20? That's a bit of a getting sold again, man. Getting sold down again. It's a.
So this is all kind of,
Does this pay dividends? Does this TLT pay dividends?
I'm not sure how it works. I know there's no like maturity to it, right? Because they just keep rolling what they own.
Perpetual contract, yeah.
But whether it pays dividends or not, I don't really know.
I think it's going to.
If it does, it
78.
certainly don't pay enough dividends.
It's going to 78, I think.
I think it's going to fucking 28, dude. But
You have these insane calls, man. 28, yeah, fine. 28's if it's a big one. I
mean,
think
I'm just making up a number, but I'm just saying, are interest rates going down? The one thing everybody's counting on interest rates going down because the whole shit show is going to come and there's going to be a crash or whatever, and the Fed's going to have
I don't.
The Fed's going to have to lower rates, but the Fed lowering rates is not good for TLT. If you ask me, it's bad for TLT.
Those look, Jason. Those people saying that the rates are going to go down, they smoke crack for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. And
I don't
listen to
disagree with
FOMC statements.
I don't
They
disagree.
literally, and they carry a sick bag with them at all times. All right.
If the Fed were to cut interest rates 100 basis points right now, what do you think TLT would do?
If crush.
Exactly. Thank you.
Crush.
It would get destroyed, dude.
10% down.
Exactly. Thank you.
Annihilation.
So that's my point. And that's what these people are counting on. Oh, the stock market's going to crash, and then the Fed's going to have to do an emergency rate cut, and then that's why bonds are going to be good. I'm like, dude, maybe the short end. Maybe you want to buy, the short end of the bond market because of that, but the long end,
yeah,
will get destroyed, man. Destroyed.
But they're basically calling for a crash. People who were talking about rate cuts, they're ignoring the fact that it's the dialogue. The base case is higher for longer. We could be like at these rates or higher for like the next 2 years. We probably will be for at least 2 years.
We're going to be, I think.
And the only thing that's going to change it,
these rates, dudes, we're going to be a lot higher than these rates. If the yield curve just goes back to normal, then 10 years should be 7%. Is anybody prepared for 7% or talking about 7%? That's just a normal yield curve, right? Where are Fed funds? 5 or something, 5.5, whatever the hell it is. So a normal yield curve would be 7% on 10 years.
I remember around the start of COVID, and I think before we had 2.5 yield on the 10s. And I said to some senior traders, I just happened to be looking at a bond chart. I really hate trading bonds, but I was like, that's going to 2.6, and it was like a 2.4 at the time, and they started laughing. I was like, really? All right, guys. And just nobody accounts for looking at the chart and seeing what's likely to happen by just reading the bloody chart. Support and resistance, easy peasy, and listen to what the Fed are saying.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's hard being perfect, eh?
It is, man. It is. I wish I knew, but yeah, I wish if I were you, then yeah.
So what else is happening? Are you positioned at all?
Long Swissy.
Oh, you're still on the wrist trade. Nice. I'd say you're doing well there, eh?
It's been a good trade so far. It's not doing great this morning, but it's not doing terrible within its daily randomness. I caught a pretty nice long gold trade, which I got out of on the Friday close when the new COT data came out. But that was certainly a nice trade. As always, could have been nicer, but it was a nice trade. I'm not going to complain. The Swiss has been working. And that's really all I got going right now.
Nice. I think your short heating oil probably working out quite nicely now, is it?
No, man, I haven't done that trade. I got whacked on that trade, I think twice, and I haven't done that trade again since. The data no longer lines up. I no longer have it as a trade, so it's going to do what
That's
it's
the
going to do.
OG Widowmaker, man. That's the OG Widowmaker. Some people say it's not gas. Some people say it's crude oil. It's heating oil, man.
Is it? Yeah, I'm done with it. I've been done with it for a while anyway, so whatever. Move on. Take the loss, move on. That's what keeps me alive. That's why I'm still here. And like I say, my incredible ability to market to institutional investors. I mean, how are you not going to give this guy money?
I know, right? Grow that beard out a bit more, and then you get the real scruff going.
Yeah,
You should give it the full Santa Claus, something like that. I think it
I
was.
have done that in the past. I told you what my shaving schedule is, so you know
I know, I
you
know.
know what my life is right now. It's always a good hint as to what's going on in Jason's in life.
I'll keep an eye out for when you got to come.
I'm always smiling when I just shaved.
I'm sure you are. All right, man.
At least
Well,
at least for a minute or so.
yeah, 3 minutes, eh?
uh, with the shower. But anyway,
All right. Did you talk to Annie Duke yet? Really
Thursday,
interested.
I believe the big day is Thursday.
Oh, nice. That'll be
I
interesting.
just get the
That
feel
one.
she ain't even gonna fucking show up for some reason. I feel like she's not even gonna show up.
How could she not show up with that handsome beard you have on?
Well, she doesn't know, man. She doesn't know what she's missing. But I don't know. I feel like she's super busy, and I feel like her manager, like I said, we sent her an email asking her like some questions and stuff, and she never even like got back to us. You know what I mean? It's just these little freaking peons. It's not worth their freaking time. But October 24th, I'm looking. What's that? That's tomorrow. Holy shit. I gotta do some preparation, man. I gotta do some preparation tonight. Gives me something to do today and tonight.
Are you a big poker player?
What's that?
Do you play a lot of poker?
No, no. I have in the past at one point, just like pretty much everybody at one point that was my age at a certain time period, figure I was going to be the next, Chris Moneymaker, And I, at the time, I lived down in South Jersey, which is pretty close to Atlantic City, and I was going and trying to play a lot of poker, and I did okay on the small tables, and I sat there for about 3-4 months, and I built my roll up and moved up from the 1-2 table to like the 2-5 table, and I think I got to the 10-20 table for a while, and I think I got lucky on the 10-20 table and made a bunch of money, and this all took me about 6-7 months, and I built the roll up to where I felt I was comfortable to go up to the 20-40 table. And one day later, I was all the way back to zero. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm not going to do this anymore.
Wow, you got a smackdown. Bad beat.
Oh, yeah. Those guys just looked at me and were like, welcome to the show, buddy. And it was gone. And it's gone. So that was the end of my poker fantasy. And if I really think about it, it's just like trading, you know what I mean? I don't have the hours of experience to play poker with people who have the real hours of experience. I don't really have the knowledge. I mean, yeah, I read the books, I read all the books, Brunson's book and all the different books I get my hold on, but I think it's hours, it's hours of sitting there and observing and observing and observing and observing. That's really what gets you, just like anything, the experience is what gets you there. And I don't think I had the hours that were necessary, nor could I put them in. So I went back to this gambling instead.
Annie would say the same thing about what we do. You know, you're like, well, I don't. You know,
No, it's a fact. It's a fact. There's, you know, you can read, you can listen, you can learn. Most people don't even want to do that, but the people that do that, who are motivated, that's all great. But you still, it's still a function of hours and learning from yourself, learning from your losses. You know, there's an unfortunate tuition, you know, to
tell me
anything,
about it.
to anything. So
Absolutely, you got to pay the price. You gotta, and you got to walk the miles as well. I mean, one
it's
thing.
a, it's an unfortunate truth, man. I'm still looking for that one thing that you don't have to pay the tuition and you can just make, you know, a bunch of money. But let me know if you find it.
I will do. Likewise. All
All
right, man.
right, man. Well, you're
So
looking
check
sharp,
in.
dude. So, you know, keep that sharp look going.
I'll keep feeding it. Going for the Tom Selleck, man. Going for the Selleck.
There you go.
You should get the stash going as well. You could do it. See what it looks like. Try it on. The
Yeah.
stash club going.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna do it. I'll tell you what, if you keep getting these freaking day trades right or these shorter term trades right and keep telling me what they are, I'm gonna have to grow the stash.
All right, oil below 86s by the middle of the week, unless there's an invasion. How about that?
Okay.
And your
Well,
risk is what's your risk? Your risk is above 89s.
yeah, it's gotta be that high right there, right?
Actually, 85.20s. I think that's where we might come back to here. Anyway,
All right, I'll
talk
write
to
it
you
down
later.
and we'll keep building them up. And if they keep coming out right, I'll have to grow myself a stash and maybe pepper my hair a
That's it.
little bit. You know, I don't have enough hair that I can get that part going, but
You can get that spray on hair.
I've seen that. I might
Spray
do that.
on
I
stuff.
want to get like the little gray though, and I'll get myself a pair of glasses. I'll start getting an Irish accent going.
Well, you're halfway there, man. You got an Irish family there. Big
Yeah,
Christmas coming up too.
American Irish, man. There's no accent.
Uh,
You've been to the Isle of Man?
I've actually never been to the Isle of Man, and it's only about a 40-minute flight from where I sit.
Damn, I saw this thing about it last night, which I have known before. You know, I've seen things about it before, but
The
that more,
motorbike race.
yeah, those people are out of their freaking minds, dude. Are you
They're
kidding me?
insane, man.
They're clocking these
Yeah.
guys going 185 miles an hour.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Um,
The hell
there's a
is wrong?
guy, what's the name of the guy? Lads, what's the name of the guy, the UK writer? He's got a TV show now and on. He's got the big sideburns. What's his name? I can't remember. There's a really good guy who's done it, and he's Guy Martin. That's his name, Guy Martin. You should look up Guy Martin. A couple of his videos on YouTube. He's
Okay.
won, I think, a couple of times, and he is plugged into some insane wavelength in the universe. Just to look at him, you're like, you know, this guy's insane, and it's a wonder how he's still alive, to be honest. But yeah,
Don't
like
wonder
200
how
miles an
any,
hour.
don't wonder how any of those guys are alive.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's pretty
I mean, I
crazy.
could see doing it on a track or something, but God, those guys got balls, man. That's all I'll say.
It's a tax-free island as well. I know quite a few traders from here in Ireland who have residency there, and they just have to go over there for a couple of weeks a year.
That sounds like a plan, man. I just finished my taxes over here and I'm on a desperate search for a tax-free haven.
Deductibles. Antigua, man. Antigua is good for you. Not
Yeah,
too.
I looked at it, but you know, everything's efficient, right? The real estate in Antigua and everything is incredibly expensive. So you end up just paying it on that end, you know?
I have a guy. I have a guy who does property down there. He said he owns a resort down there, and he was rolling around this resort on his buggy, his golf buggy, with his mate, smoking a fat cigar, and we got chatting. He's like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I trade commodities." And he's like, "Oh, that's a cool business." And I was like, "Yeah, but the taxes, man." And he's like, "I haven't paid taxes in 15 years."
I looked at the
Well,
Bahamas. There's a place for sale in the Bahamas, which I clearly cannot afford, but it's owned by the hockey player.
hockey players, man.
Mark Messier. Mark Messier owns it. And it's like a little boutique hotel in the Bahamas, and it's super cool, man. Super cool, but it's a little bit above my reach. But yeah, there's some cool places out there for sale in these tax-free places, but they're very, very expensive, you know. For the cost of what
Cost
my
of li-
house, for the cost of what I could sell my house for, I get maybe
cost of
like
living,
quarter of the house in Antigua. So
the cost of living in Bermuda is like insane. Like just a bag of shopping, like for a family for a week is like $400 or $500 for like a small family.
no, I know. So that's the point. It all balances out, right? It all balances
Yeah.
out. So what's the point? Trout used to have it. You know, he moved to Bermuda and saved himself a shitload of money. He gave up his U.S. citizenship, Monroe Trout, set his whole office up in Bermuda for 15, 20 years, made himself $1 billion, retired, and then bought his way back into his U.S. citizenship and moved right back to his hometown in Pennsylvania.
Nice.
Yeah,
There's a guy. Have you ever heard of Paul Rotter?
no,
German scalper. He's doing 700 contracts in the bund, or no, 2,000 contracts, trading 2,000 contracts in the bund, and like outrights. He's also known as the flipper. So you've heard about spoofing on the book and stuff. Well, he was famous for this,
right.
and at the height of it, he was doing 70 million a month trading from his yacht in Cyprus. And guys that I used to trade with used to be execution traders for him. So they'd be in the office beside the yacht, and he'd be like on the phone from the yacht, like, you know, seeing what's going on and calling the shots. But seriously big trader. So Cyprus, another tax-free spot.
Yeah,
Full of Russians, though.
I'm sitting right here and just letting the government jam it right up. So what am I gonna do?
Move to Ireland.
Unless I want to leave and just be alone, and you know, then I could do it. But then it's not worth it either, right? So what are you gonna do? There's a cost for everything.
There is a cost for everything. No such thing as a free lunch.
Yeah.
All right,
So
man. Until I got a feeling, I'll be giving you a call, I'd say in a probably next week when we're crashing below 4100s and they're talking about nothing but the demise of the world on CNBC.
yeah, well, they're just stealing stuff that we were talking about a month ago, brother. All they gotta do is run our video.
That's right. That's right.
So you
BlackRock.
gotta come here to the
BlackRock
Dugan
are on the phone.
Just come to the Dugan Capital videos, and you'll know ahead of time what's actually gonna go on, man. Like, what are you waiting on? I don't understand.
That's right. Click the like and subscribe on this video. Thank you, Jason.
Yeah.
No, thanks for the kind words. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I mean it. So
The only thing that matters though is how much money can you make from the view. It's the only thing that matters.
yeah, it's the truth.
All right.
All right, cool. Have a good one. Good luck. It's gonna be a fucking wild week out there.
It is. Be good. Bye bye.
We'll talk to you.